All right, and it's not day 2, it's just part 2 of that giant battle that started in the previous episode. I haven't paused it since loading back in, but I haven't unpaused it since I loaded back in. It looks kind of good on the map for us. I can assure you it's not as good as it looks, and because we have switched to the Union now, so if you missed a couple episodes, there is that. It's not mostly because of that's a 5-point difference, but the CSA also has 5 points of morale. Routes, it's pretty much even, and we're only doing a point better on losses, and so that's like about a 9-point advantage. It's a considerable advantage. We still hold the majority of victory points, so this is really the area that matters because it holds those 3 together are going to be the majority, so that's 18. We currently hold this 5-pointer as well, and the CSA, I think it's a 3-pointer and maybe a 5-pointer down here at Walnut Grove. CSA is still getting its reinforcements. I think all my forces are on the... believe all my forces are on the battlefield. I think that's the case. I don't know why. I think Rufus King needs to make some headway here, but it's been very rough. My hope... here, we're going to go ahead and press play and get into it. My hope is that nightfall comes fairly soon, and that gives us a chance to reform our lines, rally some routed units, and all that stuff, and maybe get some of that morale back. But we'll see what we get. And in a battle this large, it's a struggle. It's a strain on the system, which is otherwise usually pretty good, but this one's playing a bit like stop motion here. I'm not sure what's going on. It was not this bad last time. Down. Where is that? Now, those skirmishers? No, that is just a brigade that is not yet given way, and it should. But that really needs to fall back. I think I gave that order in the last episode, maybe not. Zook. Oh, well, you're in a melee, and Zook has just had problems all day. Oh, they're not in a melee, they're in friendlies. I've been trying to move him out pretty much the entire day. They were one of the first units involved, and just never really pulled back correctly. Anyways, I've tried to leave most of the positioning up to the AI to get right, and maybe they'll do it and maybe they won't, but that's the goal at least. Alright, I'm worried about Fairchild's battery. Not that you know what, let's just cancel that. At this point, we gotta try to do some morale damage. Now, if we could get that brigade out, it'll be a little bit of good news for us. See, we have more CSA brigades showing up here on the south side of our line. Not quite sure where we are. This is the extreme south, and I guess Higgins is... I know that I did some of this ordering around. With Cav, that's more than likely the case. I might have done that, but Buford, we're just trying to get to survive to the next day because we want them giving their morale buff to the infantry. Because, as we saw, morale is a huge problem for us. Back here, yeah, these brigades are fine. I think I've generally given defensive stances to most of the division. I think I probably tried to give it to the Corps and the Army, and I just don't know that any of it took. Buford's going to get himself routed here. This order I did not order, or that movement I did not order. So anyways, that's it. But when you get like 350,000 men and all their attendant sprites and smoke and all the rest, you're going to get lag, and so we're getting 15 FPS, and it's not great. But you know, we do have... Oh, so the Dow we got a note about earlier, unless there might be 2 Dows. But the Union absolutely have manpower to commit. They just got to actually go in and commit it now. Sullivan, that's really not... Well, whatever. You're not going to take orders. That is what it is. The center here is just gone very roughly for us. We've gradually been pushed out of it. CSA here... Clark's Cav is just running riot through us. Looks like we got a couple of brigades that are... We actually have several brigades that are trying to do it. If we could get rid of that Cav and make it and beat it up to the point that it cannot come back, that would be considered... I would consider that a win. So that... I was looking for Cav there, not infantry. I'm pretty sure Clark earlier was infantry. This might have been a movement I ordered. It's an odd position out here, and these guys have not done terribly well with it. The hope was to hold the high ground here. I don't remember if we tried to assist what was going on over here or not. I know that this little kind of area that juts out, yeah, I guess it's a peninsula. It has not gone well for me over there, but it was kind of the only way to try to hold Walnut Grove and get some troops back through it earlier in the day. So I think this is just going to be a rough one for us. Now, why are these guys routing? All right, they can return, and again, maybe Nightfall will do that. Do we have a battery over here? Because at this point, it's not worth losing the battery over. And I don't even know that I can get that order to go through. So we're going to have to change Grant's stance because he is now overrun over here. And yeah, CSA is holding... What the CSA is doing here is what I had hoped the Union would do up here with the fence and the trees. I think I had them down in the creek initially and then tried to get them to fall back, and they did not want to fall back. And so they got shot up, probably till they got routed or whatever, but this is a very bad day for us. Alright, back to the center of battle. Yeah, so that's the Union left. CSA right. You can see the CSA is just... Well, I don't know how that cab's going to do, but it looks extremely bad for us. And Buford is broken and will not return, so that is a big loss. That was a source of morale we could have really used. Wood is unstable and is run. I don't see the CSA. So this is the cab that came up and was running through our lines. And unfortunately, they will return. How many Clark's brigades are there? Oh, that's right. There actually are 2 Clarks. One with the knee and one without. I remember that from when I was fighting for the CSA earlier. So, yeah, that's kind of where things stand at the moment. So, right, King should be up here, I guess. Something must have happened earlier with when I was moving those troops and they're just not coming back, but they say things are normalizing. I find that hard to believe. Or that they were coming a little bit back in our favor. Alright, we broke Ransom, but Ransom will be back the next day. Sullivan, I think that's a terrible idea. And I'll add my 2 cents to it. Dana is coming in over here. Alright, we seem to have held at Gaines. And the CSA is probably bringing up reinforcements. It looks like we've counterattacked just east of the Walnut Grove. That's Buford's routing cavalry. And so a minute ago, I thought the Union left, CSA right was our weak point. And now I'm thinking it's the Union right, CSA left. The opposite. This area right now looks better, though I thought there was a bunch of CSA down here that we might have lost in this bowl. Yup. Well, you can see some of them. And so they're going to come up that way. Alright, they have their orders. Alright, they're ordered up there. That's okay. And they're... Okay, I mean, those orders are all good enough. They should be... Okay, they are pushing up. So some are pushing up, others aren't. It looks like they're doing the thing that you do in defensive stance, which is you look for the enemy, you engage them, but you're not really pursuing them.
Sidney Johnson's been wounded, but this time he made it to 1864. And so far, it's only a wound. So. All right, 2nd U.S. Artillery is trying to get back. I did not realize that this battery was here. They should also, I guess, also be moved back because it looks like they're sending skirmishers to try to deal with us. Howard. All right, I made the mistake of not putting... I put Grant on screen, but not Howard. Davies, we'll put to screen. Yeah, 1st U.S. Cav, we could certainly use you on the next day. So it's almost 6 p.m. here. Middle of May in and around Richmond. So, although it's the map, the section of the map where we're near Gaines Mill, and I think it's New Cold Harbor. Yeah, this is really bad for us. Really bad for us. I mean, fighting as a Union under Grant around Cold Harbor is generally a questionable thing, but you see there's Old and New Cold Harbor. Gaines Mill is over there. Paul, you should go to screen as well. Yeah, so this whole north side here is in trouble. Now Higgins thinks he has the angle, and he does have the angle on these guys, but who is this? Wow, I don't know who all this is a part of. Yeah, I can see some of the brigades, but there's I'm betting at least a division here that's going to come into his division's flank, and it's going to be rough. They look like they're charging. Oh my goodness, it's the 1st Cav. They would be a decent screening force. They would be a lot of things, and we got a big old battle. This looks good for us. We have that kind of concave into them. See the shots going off in the distance. This is just an incredible shot here. It's a little dark, probably too dark to use, but uh-oh. Oh, was that the battery I was trying to get out? I can't remember at this point. Whatever, it's a battery. It would be good in the plank, but this is a very hot fight. Alright, well, the Union... We're still pushing up here, but there's a lot that can hit us in the side and enfilade and just make a push uphill under fire all that much more difficult. I don't know. I think this is just too depressing to watch over here, so probably won't. This looks like a big fat attack column. Now, I don't know. The CSA looks very strong around Walnut Grove, like very strong around Walnut Grove. And our forces are kind of broken up by this water feature here. Probably the best line is to keep our north-south orientation, and we'll just zoom on down the line. We have before. Again, a lot of troops, probably far more than we need. A lot of Union sprites down there. Nightfall can't come soon enough, as far as I'm concerned. Things have pulled back more towards the middle. CSA was gaining ground here, but they're gaining ground through an open field. My goodness, guys. So Hooker's general order doesn't need to be... Oh, you know what? I'll do this overnight. I'm not going to change it. I remember in the previous episode, just a couple days ago, when I tried to give a more general order, like divisions and corps wanted to move across the map and they disengaged from combats they should not have disengaged from. It's better to just keep them in combat and try to work on their facing than and we'll just sort it out overnight as to what the stances are going to be. But the stance could easily be defend overall as long as we hold a majority of the victory points, and I think that happens as long as we continue to hold gains down here. Actually, it doesn't matter. Even if we lose gains, we're still ahead. I think I see CSA over here. Yeah, Davidson's brigade. I don't know, whenever I play CSA, Davidson does well. Wherever he ends up commanding, I think usually at the brigade or the division level. So yeah, we had a nice position kind of in the trees. Again, I didn't really set that up too much. I just gave the general orders and the AI did a very decent job. There is potentially a gap in our line that only Abercrombie, speaking of people who generally always do well, at least in a Union campaign, Abercrombie does awesome. And I know almost nothing about him historically, but he doesn't disappoint in game. But it looks like it was only his brigade now that William Wallace probably would have been nicer to hold here in this set of trees, but whatever. I think we have a line here. I'm still worried about a division coming up and hitting us end on our left. Again, now that we're the Union, that's the Union left. And back up to the carnage here at the Walnut Grove. Stoneman, Nagel, Wheaton. Wow, this thing's just got to be... I want to fix your alignment a little there, buddy. It'd be nice to have more folks in the fight constantly shooting rather than just waiting to go and plug holes. What is this? Martin withdrawn. So it must be there's a Zollicoffer withdrawn. So some of theirs that fled. And now the imperiled Union right. Looks like there's a Union counterattack. Maybe it's just a brigade. Bernie's brigade. But that's not what we're going to. We're going to the problem area. And if nothing else, the Union has a presence here. But this is like, it's low ground choke point between two very formidable pieces of high ground. They're lucky that they're linked up here. They are very unlucky that the right of this line is really disconnected from what should be guarding their left. And I'm not sure there's anything we can do about it. Baird broke, but probably could be back after we go overnight. But let's take a look at the full extent of the problem and what's up here. So Wood's up here. Wood's okay. McMillan's okay. Morton should really pull back. Again, it's better to keep them around as a future asset than have them just get shot out now. Jackson can wait a minute. Denver should probably engage them. This artillery should engage them. And it's not terribly productive here, but it's something. And I think these CSA brigades might be in trouble. Parse is in big trouble. Cobb is getting there. If they take so many casualties that they break due to loss resilience, then they're in trouble. Same is also true, as you can see, for McMillan and that 2nd Brigade. Okay, you may be nervous, but you gotta try to be brave here. Alright, we got some artillery here. We're letting Jackson recuperate. If the CSA pushes hard on the Union right, this could be a problem. Buford withdrawn, that's our Buford. This is how we know it's ours. Has withdrawn to the immediate rear. I march them into safety and set up pickets while awaiting your next orders. Well, you didn't listen to any of my other orders. Or maybe you did, yeah. So, I don't know why you would start now. I think it is funny that I feel like we've gotten messages in the past where they're like, yeah, well, we'll go on picket duty and, send stragglers back into the fight, but we ain't coming back. I don't know that we can order these skirmishers up and do some bullet catching for the larger brigades. I'd like to keep Stoneman around. Well, I'd like to keep Tyler around too. Nagel, it's your turn in the churn. Thank goodness. He really said that? He said something like, seen the end of this bad boy? Sounds like something I would say. All right. I got 35 engineering points. I got to make a decision here. We can do a little bit everywhere. Like basic breastworks and maybe level 1 parapets. Or we could strongly fortify some areas like the flank. I don't know, maybe like this flank and maybe that one where it opens up, and then just rely on our meat shield and our numbers. What do we look like? So they have that minor victory. I don't know if I believe any of that, but so it should be Grant that's over here. Grant, who's under you here? Oh, so there's a lot that's supposed to be under Grant. Not sure why the rest of the group is kind of broken off. Let's get skirmishers back. Paul, you can be here. I think we're going to set Grant to defensive. We're going to set Hooker, actually. Just give Hooker... Defend is probably the right default order, I think. So Grant has under him... Morrill, Davies, Howard, Burnside, and Richardson. I'm not going to remember that. Howard, I remember. Burnside, I remember. Richardson.
Richardson? Come on. There you go. All right, we're going to set you to defensive. Make sure that the word gets out. Let me take a look at the... So Howard looks pretty beat up, but let's see. What is that compared to? All right, Richardson's about as beat up. Paul, not at all. So Paul, you're likely going to be on the front line over here. Get your skirmishers back for... Oh, can you? Maybe you can't. Oh. Can you have your guys recall skirmishers? Burnside, a little bit. Davies, I think we already know about. We're missing somebody? No. Howard, Richardson, Davies are all kind of the same. Honestly, Burnside's not that much better. He's about... No, he's a little bit better, but not that much. So that's going to be the group that has to figure out this side. Okay. What does Grant have overall? He's got a lot of troops, so we should be able to do that with him. King, I think, is all over here. Try to have his guys recall skirmishers. Let's do that with everybody here. Cook. Get those skirmishers back. All right. I actually don't know where. Let's see. Is King's Corps? So they're not showing up. All right. Maybe I'll put you on pause so you don't have to watch all this, and then we can get back in on the action. I'll just give you the quick breakdown when I'm done. So this one's a little funny. I was halfway done setting up my force, and I must have clicked something, and yeah, we are absolutely not ready to go. We had about half of our force in place. It was taking way longer than it should have, so maybe it's all for the best. But now we're just going to have to rush forward with whoever we have, and yeah, some of these units are really out of position. The idea here was to capture this. I don't know that we're going to need it, but we may well. All right, Wadsworth, you got to move up here. Like, we just got to get people forward quick. Oops, thought we were on. That's why nothing's happening. It's because nothing's happening. All right, so we're going to move you up there. You're moving up there. Minty, you're moving up there. Paul, you're moving up there. We are very... Well, we got set up on the right, which was the weakest point by far. How is... Let's see if we can re-kick out some skirmishers from these groups. Too bad, because we actually had excellent defenses, which are now going to lose all of them. So that is that. Butterfield's not that beat up. Like, we can certainly move him back. We at least got everybody set to defensive general orders. This looks like it's going to be a reserve division because it's so beat up. But yeah, even if we lose gains, we'll still have a majority of the victory points. How are things looking? So it was at minor victory at the end of the previous day. Now we're at minor defeat. They, though, are getting up there in casualties. We're closing there. So we went big. Like, we had our best in terms of, this is a level 3 parapet, I believe. And over here we got level 2 in most of this. And I realized that Grant actually has by far the fattest division. It's still got a ton of troops. Yeah, parts of it took a beating. But actually, the two smaller divisions here under Cook and Mansfield, it's a bit more rough. And so we had just sketched out the level 1 parapets here. The idea was to just kind of connect the forest here with this water feature and then connect this forest with that. And we got some breastworks down here at the end. I sent Beatty here to go capture that point. So King's actual division is supposed to be down here, so I moved him down here, and that seems fine. There's high ground up here. Oh, that was supposed to be a divisional order. And one thing I was doing on the top that I wish I had been able to continue to do was to detach the beat up brigades. So McMillan, Morton, Ricketts from Grant. I was starting to do it with Mansfield, with the brigades in the divisions in Mansfield, but I didn't finish. And then just kind of move them back as, I don't know, HQ guards, baggage train, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. But I did not get to finish that. That way they're still on the battlefield. They don't count as having fled or anything like that. Do these batteries see anything? They do. I noticed that some of our units are very low on ammo. And that kind of just is what it is. There's Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain shooting the artillery, as he always dreamed to. You really need to push, like, all the way up. Because right now, they're going to grab those parapets and use them against us. And if that's the case, we kind of just got to pull back to a line further down here. But my hope was that by building this up and looking at a choke point, it would break up those two parts of their force. And yeah, we had reserves set up there and everything like that. So I was okay there. This is going terribly here. But it's the nature of the thing. That is me playing Grand Tactician, nothing else. But we'll just see if we're able to recover from this. But I don't know. Have we? Oh, okay. So they are almost there. I thought maybe the CSA was going to get one more group, and I just don't want them to show up here. And they can show up in other places, but don't show up here. Alright. So, unfortunately, the gambit here to keep them out of our parapets looks like it's going to go down in flames. They're ready for it. They have troops there, but we should be able to start. Why are we not? Okay, DeRussi's division should be able to move up as well, and I'll just order Higgins up and assume that the rest of the group will get the message, and then they can hold the furthest left. King's in an okay position, I guess. Hooker in command of all of this is up here. But yes, hitting play before I was ready was absolutely the wrong thing to do. And actually, I didn't hit it. I was moving stuff, and maybe there probably is a hotkey that maybe it advanced the speed, like the plus sign on the numpad. I don't remember hitting that. I don't know why I would hit that, but anything is possible. So now we'll see what happens. It looks like everybody here that was ordered to move forward has decided they know better than to do that. I mean, they're not entirely wrong. At this point, it might just make more sense to hang back. Stay in the trees here. They still got to come up to gains, and capturing gains doesn't give them a majority. Okay, they claim that they have skirmishers out. I'm not sure that's actually true, but it would be a good idea. And a lot of these groups do, but I don't actually see their skirmishers out. So. Alright, we don't want to stare at a map. We didn't come for that. Oh, the best laid plans. This looks like it's a they will break in the center kind of attack, and they might actually be right here. Minty does not seem inclined, and he seems bugged out. I don't know if I have to exit and then come back in, or what the case is. They don't seem to quite understand what their movements are. Abercrombie's brigade has been whipped? Yeah, I think that they were. And
I sung his praises just before we ended day one. Oh well. Alright, I think we need the morale support over here more than anywhere else. Alright, and seeing what I'm seeing, I'm wondering if it's time to shift Howard and others down there. We do have numbers. I actually don't know what the overall numbers are. So they say, yeah, I think they have one more corps that's supposed to show up today. So if they have nothing over here, maybe we order... This is weird because we're ordering divisions from different corps to kind of press forward here. But we'll send 2 divisions from Grant and 2 from Mansfield. Try to deal with the right, as this is kind of our tripwire here. Some Union are beginning to move up, but I just have no idea what's back over here. It looks like some artillery off in the distance, a little bit of infantry. Can't see anything else, so. We'll see if numbers can't save my incompetence, or compensate for my incompetence. You guys might want to shoot as you move. You can see the AI did absolutely right thing turning to meet this. They're in their reinforced parapets. Now we're starting at kind of the southernmost part of the line, and I'm going to gradually zoom our way up. We're only getting 11 frames per second. It wasn't other things that I thought maybe it was. It's just that there are... What was this? Well, there were originally more than 300,000 men, represented by many, many sprites here on the battlefield. And a lot of that smoke it's working on the system. Now, they say they're firing. I'm not sure that's true. It could be a number of things. Yeah, I mean, we're not really going to bombard, but why not? Paul, we'll put you guys to screen so that you don't have to take a bad fight. It would be really great if some of these brigades stepped up to help you. Sayborn, or Sanborn, thinking of you. Bushrod Johnson's got an idea. Oh, no, yeah. Actually, the best thing for you to do would be to stop, but I'm not sure we'll get that. Did we really make it across that quickly, or is this CSA we're just finding out about? We really made it across that quickly. So we are pushing on the ends. I know the flanks, I know, but this is not at all what we planned. It was holding movements and other things. We're going to order Howard on the attack. We're going to order... Where is he? Burnside needs to move up with his men. I hate clicking that because I don't know if there's a way to unclick that. Well, I don't know what I just did, but... Taylor, we're going to order to attack, and Negley, we kind of already ordered to attack. And we're just going to hope that Minty and Paul can hold out a little longer. Whose division is this? Warren? I think Warren had a fat division that was lightly engaged before. Carr's division is beat up as anything, so I don't... Butterfield's division is fine. Let's get some pressure going up here. It could relieve pressure both here and here. Okay, Wadsworth really needs to get up and join in the... Here. This is my fault. That. We need to get King on the attack. And we need Smith on the attack. And I need Higgins on the attack. Alright, we'll let them figure out the rest. Wow. No way. No way. Uh-oh, Howard steals a march and comes in with a steel chair on Walnut Grove. I mean, it's, again, that missing core, since we're kind of in garbage time and I gave everybody the order I wanted, I was worried as anything about this attack. Let's see. Are they actually missing a core? To find out. HQ Confederacy. So it's, well, this is last after casualties, right? No. Confederacy. That's all there. So those corps are both there. Yeah, so they had, so GIS Corps, which I think is considerable. Yup, 30,000 men, but 8 hours away. And, yeah, that's not going to be enough, so. Could watch enough. Yeah, we'll just watch the Lagatron. It's fine. Poor church. Come on, skirmishers and other stuff. Oh, that was the cav. Whoops. Never mind. Uh-oh, Howard. What about uh-oh, Scots? Well, if you didn't see the very little bit of campaign play we did as the Union after we hopped on over, the Union's in a rough place. They were not taking subsidies, I think, for probably for some part of a year. I don't know how much of it. All right, we're going to order. Let's just have Brant go to assault. All right, everybody else looks like they're changing their orders, which is fine. Have you, and it's Cook down here, isn't it? There he is. We will see. It looks like many of the CSA are going to get away. They got the main road here and some of the other side roads. And, alright, we're in garbage time, so, I mean, it's actually important because of the size of the battle. I mean, probably the cleanup action here is larger than a lot of early battles, but we're going to see how things go. Sullivan's probably going to rout himself on this charge. It's my fault. It's okay. I know. Custer, as you can see, Absolutely no hesitation. And he got behind Habert. Who knows? All right, we're gonna move it up to 20x. It looks like they're all in routing. My guys are probably just getting their orders to assault. It doesn't really matter. So, what do we do? 45 minutes. So I think we're only gonna take a quick peek. Is that like when Queek Head Taker takes a peek? I don't know. You can see our casualties were actually worse. Well, we'll find out what they are from the papers. That's where all the good news comes from. All right, what have we learned here? So they suffered 4,000 killed, 9,000. So a little over 13,000 not coming back for them. For us, it's 5,000 for sure out. Some percentage of missing. Excuse me. So I would say it's, 2 men not coming back for them for, every one or so of ours that's not coming back. So that was the big old battle over here. And again, there's a lot on the housekeeping side of things, and I know on the top board, if you look there, you say, well, first one, I think it's 39 loses, and it looks like the Union's ahead, but the Union's actually in a pretty terrible position. They don't have a significant. They should have a much larger advantage when it comes to men fielded. Total casualties, they've also taken more of those. They've lost, right? They've pretty much won one battle for every 2 that they've lost. But there were a number of Union forces that were down here doing, in my view, little that was productive. And so my plan is to try to get them to coordinate with others and do something that matters. There are a couple things we could do. So they're broken. We could have this force combined with these forces and probably these forces to make a push on Tennessee. I'm not sure if the right player over here is to actually continue through Arkansas. Arkansas seems like such a small game compared to what Tennessee is. And from Tennessee, you can move into lots of other parts of the CSA. And so, yeah, I think, and I don't want to get stuck on Fort Smith or any of that other stuff. So I kind of lean towards bringing this group over to here and concentrating all these other armies more or less on Tennessee. Having this group try to continue their drive on Richmond, but we're going to recapture Richmond, I think. All right, Hayes might have retreated on the way in from that, but anyways, that's going on. There's a lot of housekeeping stuff I have to do. I have to get artillery. I have to get cavalry. I don't even know what the weapons situation looks like for... We don't have a lot, and we don't have a lot going. How are we on cav weapon? Wait. Oh, right. Well, they're not a cav unit, so that wouldn't really matter. How are we on cav weapons? Cav weapons... Okay, well, at least that many Jocelyn's and Merrills give us something to work with. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing Maynards up here, but maybe that just means that they're all taken up. So, but then they would be grayed out. I don't know. I'll figure it out, and we definitely have more work to do as we go down to the wire here and see if the AI that I kind of made and been playing against and with at different points is good enough to beat me. But we started a Union campaign, and I think that's how we'll finish it. So I hope you like this 2-part battle. I enjoyed it. Did enjoy the lag. There's really nothing I think we can do about that. But we do have a bit more to come in Campaign 17.